What's going on, YouTube? Happy Thursday to everybody. Hope you guys are having a really good day. Sorry for not making it yesterday. We were supposed to have Hunter Moore on live, and he was supposed to be on today live, but Hunter's got some big things going on, so it looks like we're going to have to push that interview back, hopefully to Saturday or early next week. Anyway, we've got Kimberly in the room, Robert, Sanser, John, Fawn L. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having a really great day. Thank you guys for joining me. I know this is a very interesting topic to a lot of you that are either getting ready to go into federal prison, or those of you that have loved ones that are in federal prison, is the fact that the BOP has had funding cuts, which has caused several halfway houses to either already close or are in the process of closing when their grants run out. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in a couple of minutes. Just wanted to jump on and talk to everybody real quick and make sure, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so now. I'm really trying to get this channel over 2,000 subscribers. We're almost there. We're like a little over 200 away or something like that before we hit 2,000 subscribers. So if you guys could help me make that happen. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so. Like these videos, share it. Make sure you text the word YouTube to 35074. That will put you on our notification list, letting you know of changes. Those of you that aren't on that list, you may have wondered why we didn't go live yesterday. And if you were on the text message list, you would have received an update notification letting you know that we were not going to make it live. Hey, Scott, what's going on? Scott Oler in the room. Going to be self-surrendering soon, next couple of weeks. Scott, I will give you a call after this video, and Shelly did receive your email, so that should be going out. If it didn't go out today, it'll be going out tomorrow. Also, guys, I did a podcast with a really fun group of girls that has a podcast channel, and I'm going to post it here. It's called Mixed Feelings Podcast. So their website is actually mixedfeelingspodcast.com. And they did an interview with me talking about going to federal prison. Their podcast is not a prison-related podcast. It's just a podcast where they talk about anything and everything. And one of their good friends happens to be a client of mine who is going to be going to federal prison. That was their first time ever hearing about prison consulting or coaching. So they had a lot of questions. So if you guys want to have a good time and just relax, this is nothing serious. Here's a link to Mixed Feelings Podcast. They're also, I also put it in the description of this video, and here's the page you want to look for. This is actually their website, what it looks like, and you can see the very top one. I don't know if you can see it there, but Mixed Feelings Podcast, interview with prison coach RDAP. So make sure you guys get a chance to take a look at that if you can. I had a lot of fun doing it. It was definitely a day out of my normal routine, so it wasn't serious. I got to just be myself. I'm always myself, but I got to really just cut loose and have fun with that podcast interview. So I hope you guys can take a check to check it out. So now the Trump administration they've cost millions and millions of dollars in cutbacks to the BOP funding, which one of the first things that the BOP is going to be defunding on this is going to be federal halfway houses. It's already started to take place, and I didn't realize how serious this was. I get emails all the time from clients, not just clients, but clients that are in prison, people that have been watching my channel as I got out of prison that have just contacted me once they got in prison, just keeping up to date with me. And they've been asking me, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? And I really at first thought maybe it was just some bogus information. As you'll find out when you're in prison, you hear a lot of hearsay and very little of it ends up being true. Well, this happened to be true. And here's a video for you guys. I have a little video here. It's actually posted from a news article of a halfway house getting closed down. So I'm going to let you guys listen to this. So here we go. Let's check this out, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Here we go.
Prison funding. Now a local halfway house is hours away from feeling that impact.
One program in Akron officially ends tomorrow, leaving uncertainty for the men and the women who depend on it. News 5's James Girardi in Cleveland, where some of those inmates will be moved. James.
Yeah, Rob, Danita, all in an effort to save the federal government some money. 7 men will be transferred from Akron here tomorrow, and the other inmates that would have gone from federal prison to the Akron halfway house will just be spending more time behind bars, a move that may actually cost us all a lot more money.
there's a change in philosophy, and it doesn't make sense to us.
For more than 2 decades, federal inmates have gone from prison here, the Oriana Halfway House. As of tomorrow, that program is defunct. The Trump administration cutting millions of dollars from the Federal Bureau of Prisons has led to cutting halfway house programs like the one in Akron. Oriana House Vice President Bernie Rockford is concerned because inmates that would have come here that are from Akron will now go to Cleveland or Youngstown, where they likely won't live.
If you're up in Cleveland and a lot of our clients don't have transportation, you're not going to be able to get that job and maintain it. You'll get the job maybe for a short period of time while you're in the program in Cleveland, but then you're going to have to start all over when you get released.
Also, in an effort to save money, the Trump administration is cutting stays in halfway houses from 6 to 12 months to 30 to 60 days. Meaning instead of getting out earlier to spend time in a recovery house, inmates will be spending more time behind bars.
If you're going to keep people in prison longer, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the community, because when people come through halfway house programs like ours, the research will show, assuming they get the right programming, they're less likely to reoffend.
And Oriana House administrators have been in contact with our local congressmen and women, as well as both U.S. Ohio senators, hoping they can put pressure on the Federal Bureau of Prisons to change where they make these cuts. So far, no luck with that. Reporting live in Cleveland tonight for News 5, I'm James Girardi.
Thank you, James.
So there you go, guys. That's it's pretty serious stuff, and it's not just limited to that one halfway house. So if those of you, and Tamara, who is one of our clients' mothers, she always sends me a lot of really, really good information, and she sent me a link today on something that I actually just saw last night. Those of you that follow FAM, Families Against Minimum Mandatories, the website, FAM, if you just go in Google and type in FAMM, it will come right up. And they've got a really good article on this, and they've actually got a diagram with some additional halfway houses that are going to not receive funding going into 2018. And I have that right here. We'll take a peek at that. So here's a list of some of the halfway houses that, if you can see over to the right, it'll tell you contract will expire. So as you can see, a lot of them are expiring already as of a couple days ago. Some of them will be expiring in December. Some of them are going to be expiring going into the new year. And this list is not all of the halfway houses. This is just some of them that FAM was able to get information on. Hey, Tamara, how are you? Tamara McCullough in the room. Everybody say hello. Tamara does a lot of our research. She doesn't get paid to do so. She's just interested in this topic, being she has a loved one in prison. However, if we had the budget, Tamara would be on the payroll in a heartbeat. So just let you guys take a look at this. And there is a link in this video, guys, and I'll post it here, where you can get all of this information. We also posted several other links that talks about the same story, several different versions of it. So it's definitely not hearsay. This is really happening. It's really going into effect. And let me go ahead and give you the link from FAM. So here's the link for that. So if you guys want to just grab this link and save it for later, I just posted it in the comments. It's a pretty serious deal because, wrong one. Not only are they talking about closing certain halfway houses, but if you guys listened to that little news article, not only are they talking about closing halfway houses, but they're also, in addition to save additional monies, they're also only talking about giving people 30 to 60 days, where right now people can get anywhere from 6 months to a year federal halfway house. Now they're talking about giving people only 30 to 60 days. Now, I don't know how this is going to affect Second Chance Act, and I don't know how this is going to affect RDAP. RDAP requires you to do 120 days of halfway house. So I'm going to assume for now that this is not going to affect the minimum amount of halfway house time that somebody in RDAP would receive. Typically, people that graduate RDAP are receiving 6 months or more of federal halfway house. If this really goes into effect, we're probably going to see people only receiving the bare minimum, which if you're in RDAP, you're looking at 4 months. And if you're not in RDAP, it sounds like you might be lucky to get 30 or 60 days. So what does this really mean? And how do we prepare for this? Well, It hasn't said anything about doing away with the Second Chance Act, at least nothing that I've read yet. And we've got the research ninja, Tamara McCullough, in the room with us. So if she sees anything about the Second Chance Act being reactivated or taken away, I would love to hear information on that. Twitter is a great resource, guys. She's giving you guys right there, hashtag CJ Reform. That's another great spot to get your information from. Reddit has a lot of interesting information. So you really just got to get out there and do your research. So what can we do to try to make sure that we don't fall victim to this? Now, if they close a halfway house in your area, you're kind of stuck unless you redesignate your release address somewhere to a larger city maybe that has more than one halfway house. But if you live in some small town and that's the only halfway house around and it's closing or closed, you're kind of out of gas unless you change your release address to another state. For those of you that will still have halfway houses in your area, some of the best things you can do is to really utilize our progress report system, where we help you guys to create a progress report showing why you'd be a good candidate for additional halfway house time. Now, what that means for a lot of clients now is it's getting them up to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months halfway house. What that might mean in the future are those might be the people that only get 4 or 5, 6 months of halfway house. So we really don't know the complete ripple effect that this is going to have yet. But what I can say is if this is a concern to you and you still have the legal right to vote, or you have friends and family that have legal rights to vote, go to your Congress and voice your opinion. Because falling on deaf ears, if you're just arguing and bitching and complaining about it out there in cyberspace, it's not really going to get heard. So hopefully this video can be educational to you, to let you know that this is a serious issue, that this could affect how much halfway house time you receive, and this could affect a halfway house even being open in your area. This is ultimately, they're saying how it's going to save money, but ultimately it's going to cost money, because it costs a lot of money to house inmates. There's money given to the BOP. Now, the BOP, from what I understand, is they're the ones that are determining where to put budget cuts in. It already looks like there's going to be budget cuts in staffing in the BOP, jobs, and now it's trickling down to the inmates getting to the halfway house sooner. I've got a client right now that's really under the gun under this, a guy named Sean Cowgill, who's been emailing me over the last couple weeks asking me about this specific topic. And I've almost been blowing it off to the point where, I'm sure he's just hearing inmate chatter. But now doing research and reading into this is a serious, serious topic that I am very happy that I did not have to deal with this, because there's enough stress going into prison. I was just reading articles of people that were supposed to be going to the halfway house in the next couple of days, and now their halfway house dates have changed to March of 2018 due to these cutbacks, and not just on closing the halfway houses, but how much time that they're going to be allowed to actually fund to give time to these inmates in the halfway house. And for some of us, it's more of an inconvenience. We want to get home to our family sooner. But for others, it's a real it's more than an inconvenience. It's devastating, because some of us that are getting released from prison don't have jobs, don't really have anywhere to stay, don't have family members that are able to, loan us money. So getting out into the real world and being told you've got 30 to 60 days to figure it all out, that's not really enough time to find a job, save money, find housing, find an employer that's willing to hire you as a convicted felon, finding housing that's willing to house you as a convicted felon, and then finding the time to save money for a lot of times first, last, and security. Now, there are programs out there that will help inmates to, with security deposits. Depends on what city, what state you're in, how hard you're looking for it, what your ability to do this research is, on what type of resources you have to you when you get out. If you don't have a computer and you don't have internet, you don't have the ability to get to and from places, it can be a true struggle for people releasing out into the free world. That's why we see all of this hardship, and we see all of this focus put onto helping people with reentry. We see all these reentry groups out there, and their focus is when people are getting released from prison. Seems like to me the focus needs to start way earlier. Needs to start kind of when you guys are getting into this situation, like a lot of you that are watching these videos right now that are preparing to go to federal prison possibly. This is when your reentry really begins, not weeks before you get out, not once you hit the halfway house. doing your research, knowing what to expect, setting things up for yourself later on is really going to make or break your chances of a successful reentry back into society. And the fact that all of these budgets and all of these companies that are getting funding and grants, their whole sole focus is on reform and prison reform, but they don't focus on the earlier problems. What accountability do we hold ourselves to? What classes are you trying to take advantage of? Granted, there's not a whole lot of reform in prison. At least there's not forced reform. But for those of you that have been to prison, you do know there are programs in there that if you're willing to get out of your box and take advantage, even if they're inmate ran programs and they don't give you actual certificates or degrees, inmate ran programs can still give you tools to be successful when you get back into the real world. So you do have to take some accountability. And yes, this sucks what we're hearing today, but you have to plan for these. You can never, tomorrow is not promised. And the fact that the Trump administration, and we all knew when Trump went into office, one of the big things they were talking about was undoing everything that Obama tried doing for, pardons, and basically anything that Obama did. Trump is going to do the opposite, just spite, regardless whether it's something that he necessarily agrees with or not. We have to assume that they're just going to do the opposite. So when you're talking about where Obama was trying to get rid of minimum mandatories or make them not as serious, or 2-point reductions where it was making people not stay in prison as long, being locked up, these are all things that are slowly going to get undone. And it seems like it's kind of like a ninja sneak attack, where they were really doing it in a point where nobody really heard about this. There wasn't a lot of media about this. A lot of this information, and everybody will tell you, and I'm seeing if I can still have it here, comes from inmates asking questions. That's where they get a lot of these questions to ask. I didn't hear anything about it on the news. It wasn't publicized publicly. This was stuff that from hearing it from inmates, people like Tamara. It's a devastating blow, especially when you're getting ready to go into prison. You're thinking about, good time, RDAP, halfway house. You're thinking about all of these abilities that can help you get back to your family sooner. And now when you see a lot of this taken away, it makes it a little bit more frustrating on entering into the system on a stressful as it is type of a scenario. So what do you guys think about this? And has anybody else heard about this other than, I know Tamara, you have. Have you guys been following this? If not, make sure here, let me post this link again in here for fam. Here we go. I've got some guy trolling my YouTube channel right now, some guy named Bill Williams. I think I know who it is, a guy from my past. And he's I don't know what he's talking about. It seems like he's mad that I have a YouTube channel and it's doing well. So if you guys see comments from Bill Williams, give him a piece of your mind. I've been getting a lot of spammers lately, and it's been pretty insane. It's like, man, where do these guys come from, and how come they don't have anything else better to do other than go on people's channels and bash them, or anywhere. But without haters, where would this world be? And in that FAM article, there's a lot of other links. So and I posted all these links onto my channel. If you go into the description of this video, it's got the FAM link, and it's got other links to like Reuters. It's got a few different links on articles specifically talking about the halfway house closure, what soon might be an epidemic. I haven't heard anything here in Washington yet, and it's crazy how fast things can change. 2 years ago, they just opened an additional halfway house here. So I'm wondering if we're going to see at least one of the 2 halfway houses closing. What else have we got going on? So we got a couple clients that are going to Taft. We have another one of our clients who actually is a police officer who just got to federal prison a couple days ago. Last week this time he arrived at federal prison, and he's been letting me know things are going real smooth. He was real nervous. Can you imagine being a police officer getting ready to go to federal prison? You have to wonder what that does to someone's mind, because you're thinking everyone here is automatically going to hate me because I'm a cop, and in their mind, I'm the one that put them away. And that sounds like a pretty legitimate worry. He ended up going to a camp, so it's not going to be the end of the world for him. But it's pretty serious. McCullough, what's at prison fed? There you go. So McCullough's given some good information, guys. She does she follows up on this stuff like on a regular basis. So it's good to see somebody taking that much interest and initiative into helping their loved ones going through the situations that they're going through. Sounds like from what Tamar's saying, her son's going to be getting into RDAP real soon. That will be really good. We're really looking forward to having the interview with Hunter Moore. Not only is the guy, he's notorious icon for, America's most hated person for a while there, for what he's doing, for what he did, for what he went to prison for. And he's going to kind of tell his side of the story a little bit, talk about some upcoming things that he's got going on and what Hunter Moore is up to. We've been in touch pretty much just before he went into prison, all through his prison experience, and up until he was released from prison. We've been in contact at least once a week or a little bit more. Thank you, Source. Appreciate it. So yeah, we got a good view, got a good group of people in here tonight. I wasn't going to do this video yet. I was going to wait till next week to talk about this because I was supposed to do the Hunter Moore interview, but due to that being pushed back and getting more recent emails from people like Sean Cowgill, who I'm sure, John, he's also in the room right now, and John emails back and forth with Sean. So John, let me know if you're going to reach out to Sean on this, or if you want me to, or we both can, but I probably won't be reaching out to him until tomorrow or Saturday. But yeah, guys, this is a pretty short video, not to mention it's Thursday. It's off of our typical day. This is, I really wanted to talk to you guys a little bit and just share this information with all of you because, don't necessarily count all this additional halfway house time. Kind of prepare for the worst and hope for the best kind of a scenario, and what you can be doing to put yourself in a position to possibly get the additional halfway house time is definitely pick up that phone, give us a call, and let us use our progress report program to help you put yourself in the best position possible to receive the maximum amount of halfway house time that you'll be able to receive, because it looks like they are really going to be slicing that up to what people are going to be given. And it's still yet to be seen if it's going to affect the actual Second Chance Act and how it is going to affect people that are graduating RDAP. We don't know what kind of ripple effect this is going to have yet. This could really send shockwaves through the entire prison system. So stay tuned. We will keep you guys updated. If you haven't, make sure you like this video. I can't see it on this screen, but how many likes do we got right now? I had a thumbs down before the video ever started, and it's probably this this jerk off Bill Williams, who's clearly a fake name, who's posting in the rooms. Probably, yeah, exactly, tomorrow. She's telling you guys, call your congressman. Call him and voice your opinion. You might think your voice doesn't matter, but when he hears that call enough, it will send out the message. So yeah, like this video, share this video. If you know any prison reform chat rooms or Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, other YouTube channels, post this video, because you don't know who's going to see it, who might be able to help us get more wisdom on this and possibly find out what we can do to be a voice as one to help change this, guys. So one day at a time, people helping people, community is method every single day, guys. I'm rdapdan. I love every single one of you guys. I will be on here Saturday. Sorry this video is so short, but it's Thursday and it's date night in the Wise household. So make sure you follow me on Facebook. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of those places. And if you see trolls out there bashing rdapdan, hold your hands up and fight for me, guys. All right, guys. Have a great day. Love every single one of you. Happy week. Talk to you guys Saturday.